So we knew there is a joint South Korea-Indonesian program to develop an advanced multi-role fighter. It's called the KFX or IFX, and some of us actually hope that it will compete with the latest American jet like the Martin F-35
Right.
or the Chinese G20. But what was the program background and how is the progress going on so far?
Well, that's that KFX, IFX project, which is kind of the future-oriented, next-generation firefighter co-development project, which is underway between the government of Indonesia and the government of Korea. It is a G2G cooperation project. It's a very symbolic because it is to aim at kind of joining hands together in addressing the future challenges to come, especially in the Air Force areas. And we are hoping that this project will be leading us to see the first pilot next generation jet fighter to be produced in 2021, and then the full commercialized production will be starting around 2026. It is very meaningful since that not just is sales and purchase or the it is co-design, co-development and co-production, and at the end of the day we will see Indonesian PT DI will be able to produce its own jet fighter and hopefully to export it to out to other foreign countries. So this is a very symbolically kind of meaningful and important project that now we are working on together, and we are very much hopeful that this project will make great contributions to the reinforcement of the Air Force power of Indonesia, and also elevate the partnership between Indonesia and Korea.
Besides being a great symbolic and strengthening the bond between both of our countries, this is also quite a really exciting project for some, because from what information that we gather, like the jets that both of our countries are building, this is a next generation fighters. So it's in part with the Lockheed Martin F-35 or the G20. So this is actually quite a really step forward, don't you think?
Yes, it is. I'm not an expert on that whole next generation jet fighters. So, but I think that's Indonesia is now aiming at kind of the beefing up its self-reliance, reliance in defense industries. So not just the buying some foreign jet fighters or foreign military equipments, but at the end of the day, Indonesia should be able to develop and produce and export its own jet fighters. That's where this whole project is now lying in. So Indonesia and Korea are joining hands together and come up with a new next generation jet fighter to be produced and to be exported by the people of Indonesia.
So with the recent series of progressive peace talks that has been held between not just North Korea and South Korea, but with United States and China too, what can we expect next in the quest for peace in the Korean Peninsula?
The momentum for peace and prosperity on the Korean Peninsula is now in motion. As you have said, up until now, from January this year, we have witnessed quite a significant transformation in our relations with North Korea, and also at the same time, the relations between North Korea and the United States. In April, we had witnessed the first inter-Korean summit meeting between President Moon of South Korea and Chairman Kim Jong-un of North Korea in 11 years' time. The last summit was in 2007, and for the last 11 years, we didn't have any summit meeting between the leaders of both Koreas. Now and then, in April and again in May, we had another follow-up summit meeting between South and North Korea. And then, as we have said, on June 12, I think there's the historic meeting between President Trump of the United States and Chairman Kim Jong-un of North Korea took place in Singapore, in Sentosa Island. So this series of inter-Korean and the US DPRK summit meetings are now paving the way for the Korean Peninsula to move toward stable and permanent peace. Of course, there are still some obstacles still remaining ahead of us. The road is not as rosy as we could expect. It might be a bit bumpy, but the key elements that we have to recognize is that now there are constant and quite frequent kind of contacts and exchange of communication amongst those countries concerned, especially North Korea. So what we are expecting at this moment is that we have to engage North Korea in a serious manner, also to keep North Korea be at the dialogue table with more seriousness, and also to have North Korea make substantive and concrete actions toward denuclearization, to kind of getting rid of nuclear stockpiles, nuclear materials, and nuclear weapons in the soil of North Korea. And at the same time, we do anticipate U.S. DPRK dialogue to go smoothly, so that the denuclearization process will be going on as we could expect. At the same time, we do expect the relations amongst the nations surrounding the Korean Peninsula, like China, Japan, and Russia, having much more constructive dialogue with North Korea as well.
So what you're saying is, in the future, we're going to expect a lot of soft power policies and this negotiation on the table.
Right.
Would you say?
Yeah. And so just next month in September, we are expecting President Moon of South Korea to visit Pyongyang, the capital city of North Korea, to have the third round of summit meeting with the leader of North Korea. And we are also hopeful that Secretary of State of the United States, Mike Pompeo, will be visiting Pyongyang soon in order to make concrete steps toward denuclearization of North Korea.
It is going to be a really exciting moment for the whole world, not just
Yeah.
for Korea.
Very dynamic.
Yes.
Yeah.